Gene Silva's come out today or yesterday and said that he's fighting Alexander Volkanovski for the title next. And if this is true, this is a terrible move from the UFC. Now, we can't obviously be 100% sure that this is happening. We can't just take Gene Silva's word for it. But with the way that the UFC's been ran recently and some of the matchmaking that we've seen, I could definitely see this being the next title fight at 145. Probably an international fight week as well. And it's just the fact that this is happening, and according to Gene, the contract's getting signed this weekend in London. The fact that they're doing this while we've got Lerone and Movsar in the main event this weekend, fighting for the number one contender to become the number one contender, is just it's just dumb, you know? We've got the number one and number three ranked guy, who are both undefeated, fighting each other this weekend, and they said Gene Silva's going to get the title shot when Diego Lopez slammed him out last year. It's just a dumb choice, even if he is the most, intriguing fight for Volk, stylistically, and probably the guy that has the best chance of beating him, in my opinion. It's still a dumb choice to have him fight for the title next, instead of, like I said, Lerone or Evloev. And it wouldn't even surprise me if the UFC announced this fight during the broadcast this weekend. Now, I don't think they would do that, but I definitely could see it happening. Fucking MVP versus Patterson ends, and then we get a promotion video saying Volkanovski's back, and everyone's going to be like, oh yeah, he's fighting the main event winner. And it's like, no, he's fighting Gene Silva at UFC International Fight Week, whatever number that's going to be. That is something that I could definitely see the UFC doing, and I wouldn't even be surprised anymore. And the worst part about this is, if Gene Silva does get the title shot and he does fight Volkanovski next, if he wins and Diego Lopez beats Steve Garcia, they're running back that rematch for the belt. 100%. Because you already know, even if Movsar Evloev wins this weekend at UFC London, they're going to make him fight Zalal or something like that. Or I don't know who else is coming out of the rankings right now, but they're going to make him fight someone else. Maybe rematch Aljo if he beats Zalal. They're not going to give him the next title shot, and it wouldn't surprise me if they do the same for Lerone, but it's just dumb matchmaking here. It's just dumb decision making. And although Gene Silva, like I said, is the most intriguing guy at featherweight to fight Volk, it's just there's so many other people I'd rather see fight. Let's just go through Gene Silva's record here. So he beats Arnold Allen in this last fight. Cool. It was a close decision that some people thought he lost against a guy who's coming off multiple surgeries and has been off for 18 months. Whatever. Before that, loses to Lopez, gets 10-8'd in the first round, and then finished in the second round. Okay? It wasn't even like he was winning the whole time and bang, he got slumped. No, he got 10-8'd and then got finished. Now, do I think Gene Silva's better than Lopez? Yes. Do I think he'd win 8 times out of 10? Yes. But still, he lost. That's doesn't matter what we think, doesn't matter what opinions we have, he lost. Before that, he fought Bryce Mitchell. Now, he didn't even deserve the Lopez fight in the first place. He lost it. He then got the undeserving Arnold Allen fight. He shouldn't have been fighting up the rankings, but he got it. He wins that, and now he's going to fight for the title. 3 undeserving fights in a row. He barely even deserved the Bryce one, but I can understand it. But then he went from fighting the number 13 guy in Bryce to fighting the number 2 guy, lost, then gets to fight the number 6 guy, and now he's getting to fight for the title. So it's just, you can see the favoritism, the Dana White privilege. It is there. We can clearly see it, and it's just dumb, I'd rather see Lerone or Movsar get the title shot, and it's just, it kind of just sums up what this UFC Paramount deal has been, and what it's probably going to continue to be like for the next 7 years. I made a TikTok on this yesterday, and I said the same thing. I can see the UFC doing this for the next 7 years while they're in this deal with Paramount, and I don't think it's ever going to stop. And yeah, I think they're just going to do entertainment, fights for entertainment. They're not going to do who deserves the title shot. Obviously, occasionally they will. If Movsar wins this weekend and then he fights Zalal and beats him, there's literally nothing. They have to give him the title shot, But unless something like that happens, where there's a guy who's completely undeniable and nobody can say anything otherwise, and they're a boring fighter, I think they're just going to choose the more entertaining guy every single time. We saw it with Lopez title shot, the rematch. We're seeing it now with Gene Silva. That's both at featherweight. Let's be honest, although I am excited for the fight, Strickland, Imavov probably did deserve it a little bit more. But Strickland's the bigger name. The fight promotion, the build-up's going to be better. And it's just going to be shit like that from now on. And I don't know if I really want to see it. Obviously, entertainment-wise, it might be better, but the reason people liked watching the UFC over boxing is that we actually got to see the top guys who actually deserve to be the top guys fight each other, and it's not being like that right now in the UFC, and it's making the product worse. But yeah, other news: Rob Whittaker's fighting in the light heavyweight division in July, and Magomed Ankalaev is fighting in July. So it's looking like we're getting Rob versus Ankalaev. I personally don't think that should be the fight, and there is still a chance that this isn't the fight. You know, I don't have the rankings on me right now. Well, I don't have the rankings up here right now, but I could definitely see, Rob versus Jamal Hill, and Khalil versus Ank, which would be kind of dumb. Khalil fighting up the rankings again, but it is something the UFC would do if we're being honest. And I would personally rather do. Well, I actually don't know what I'd rather do. I'll have to have a proper look at the rankings, but I guess like a. Yeah, I think this is going to be a fight. I've just gone through the rankings in my head, Azamat's fighting against Paulo Costa, so he's booked. Bogdan's fighting against Yan. Jamal Hill's not going to get a shot up the rankings. Yuri and Olberg are fighting each other. Pereira's left the division, so really there's not anyone else for Ank to fight outside of either Khalil or Rob. So I'm guessing it's going to be Ank versus Khalil, but then you can't do. Yeah, it's going to be Rob versus. It's going to be Rob versus Ank or Khalil versus Ank, and I don't know if I'm interested in seeing that right now. Khalil just got knocked out by Yuri. Rob's lost his last two. We got dominated by Hamza and then lost to RDR and didn't look good. Now, there is a chance he could just light a man skill everyone at light heavyweight, because we've seen it happen more and more recently. Miktek Orobai, former welterweight and he's former lightweight, and he's dominating all these middleweights. And I could see Rob doing the same thing here, but the thing is, I do think the size difference would be quite a big size difference. Rob is a former welterweight, He used to fight at 170, and I was going up to fight guys like Ank, who weigh probably like 230 on fight day, something around that. It is a massive jump up in weight, and like Ank is good, Like for light heavyweight, he might be the most skilled. Well, I don't know if he's the most skilled guy in the division, but he's definitely up there. He probably is now that I'm thinking of it. I think he's a more well-rounded and skilled fighter than Pereira. I do think Pereira would beat him 8 times out of 10 after what we've seen when they're both at their best. But I think Rob, it's hard because he could be completely washed. He took a lot of damage in that RDR fight. We know his chin ain't going to be the same. It already was bad, and then Hamzat smashed his jaw in with a fucking choke, so that's not going to help it. And I could see him getting slumped just at light heavyweight just because he's fighting guys who hit harder than anyone he's ever fought before. But I could also see him just skill mogging them and beating everyone there. The one thing I do want to say, if he beats Ank, I don't want to see him fight for the title, because he'd still be 1-2 in his last 3, and it'd be another undeserving title shot, like we're probably getting with Gene Silva. Like, we don't need another one at light heavyweight. We don't need all these divisions. Like, we've seen it with Tyra. Tyra shouldn't be getting a title shot, and he's going to fight for the title next, Bantamweight, Marab versus Sean, okay, that's fair. Featherweight, we're getting this. Even lightweight, like, Gaethje's my favourite fighter of all time. He should not be fighting for the title next. Well, what's happening at welterweight right now? Okay, welterweight is probably going to be Ian Gary, which is fair. Middleweight, again, Strickland, bit questionable, should it have been Imavov. At light heavyweight, it's Olberg Yuri, that's fair. And then at heavyweight, we're getting Pereira versus Garn. Again, Garn shouldn't be getting a title shot after how his last recent fights have been. So, I don't know. Don't do this. Hopefully Gene Silva's just lying, which could still be the case, but I highly doubt it. And Rob's going up to light heavyweight, and that whole division is probably going to have some weird matchmaking, with Khalil somehow ending up benefiting from it like normal. But yeah, whatever. Obviously, we've got UFC London this weekend. I dropped my predictions for that, so go watch that video. I don't know what I'm going to make tomorrow. Maybe I'll do a card builder for if they make this fight next. I don't fucking know. UFC needs to go back to how it was, literally like 2 years ago. Have the best guys fight the best guys. Don't have the most entertainment guys get all the title shots. Please! Anyway, make sure you subscribe, like the video and all that shit. And yeah, thank you for watching.